Today in AWS, we're covering the CloudWatch agent and how to get that configured. Hi there, this is Tom, Tom's Tech Show, and today we're covering something that took a while for me to figure out, getting the CloudWatch agent installed and getting all the metrics loaded into AWS. So one thing that AWS does, of course, is give you some statistics for different instances. All right, so I can come here to EC2, I can look at my instance that I have running here, and I can say, okay, what are, the monitoring here. I can check, okay, I've got what CPU is being utilized, what disk reads and disk writes, some network traffic, things like that. But what's one of the key things that we want to know about an instance, probably one of the major key things, is how much disk space is free. So these just general statistics can see what's going on outside of the instance, not what's inside the operating system. So it knows how healthy the disk is, what the CPU is doing, because it has access into that. So what we need to do is to be able to install an agent inside of these virtual machines, these instances, to be able to send data back out to the Amazon System Manager. Okay, long way around. All right. The first thing you have to do, of course, is go to AWS System Manager and tell it to click the Setup Inventory and run through this little sheet here. All it does is it goes through. Typically, I set it with select all managed instances. So we're just going to do everything. If they're in there, and you're not really doing much management with the agent, it's fine. So you want to collect information about AWS components, network configuration, services, all that kind of stuff. Click Setup Inventory, and then it will go process all of your instances and load them in there. But that does not install the agent yet. We have to go to each instance. We can either come and run a command here, but since I've kind of moved and getting to where I do all of this using PowerShell, we're going to do that. We're going to use PowerShell. So to get it's a multi-step process. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use the send SSM command. So we're using a system management command against our instance, and the document we're going to do is configure AWS package. This is something that AWS knows about. This isn't like one of the other scripts where we're doing like run a PowerShell script or anything like that. So this is just, we're going to run a command, and this command is going to be an action of install, and the name is going to be Amazon CloudWatch Agent. And if you use the version as blank, it will install the latest version onto your system, which typically you're going to do unless you find some bug, right, that's going to block out that version. Okay, so I can send this. I have an instance set up. I can send this command to it. Here I've already connected to, and I've already run this command. So it basically goes out, does a remote SSM command, and connects to our instance. Now, and I go to this instance and I see it's installed. Then I can see, okay, there's Amazon CloudWatch Agent. So I want to CD into the Amazon CloudWatch Agent, and I look at what files are in here. And we've got, the first one is Amazon CloudWatch Agent Config Wizard. So that is actually what I want to do, because we have to create a configuration document for the system to use. So here, this is a Windows box, so we're going to hit 2. So it's Windows. So I'm trying to fetch the default region based on EC2 or on-premises. So this can actually be used to help monitor your on-premises hosts, but since I know already this one is in EC2, we're going to do that. Do you want to turn on the stats D daemon? This helps gather more statistics. Currently, the default is 1, so we're going to take the default there. There's a port that it wants to run on, 8125. We'll leave that as default as well. Okay, what is the collection interval? It says 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. I opt typically, it wants 10 seconds. I opt typically for the 60 seconds. I think once a minute is enough to get what statistics that I need. Do you want the aggregation interval of metrics to be collected by? So you don't want to aggregate them. You want to do 60. So I'm gonna not aggregate them. Well, I think I'm gonna do their default, which is 60 seconds again. So do you want any existing CloudWatch log agent files or file to import? So I don't already have an existing agent file, so say no. Do you want to monitor any host metrics, CPU, memory, etc.? This is where we need to say definitely yes, we want to monitor those things. Okay. Do you want to monitor CPU metrics per core? So if we care about what processors are running on an individual core, so if we have multiple processes, say a database server that is using 4 CPUs, then we might want to know if one CPU is getting loaded more than another, or if our application is like single threaded and we have a multi core CPU configured. We would probably want to know that, but in this case, no, I don't. I just care about the aggregate, how much we're using. Do you want to add EC2 dimensions? So we need, this is if you're using some different dimensions of that EC2. So there's image ID, instance type, auto scaling group. So those are the different values that you can select on. So typically I've been saying no, but you can add more. You can come back and run this again, and then you have to update the script again. Would you like to collect your metrics at a high resolution, sub-minute? It's like, holy cow, do I want all that? No, I don't. So we're just going to go with 4, which is their default. I guess if you have a very high availability application that you really need to know what the statistics are, down to the millisecond, then you would want to turn that on, but that definitely is going to cost a lot of money. Which default metrics config do you want? Basic, standard, advanced, or none? So typically I'm going with the advanced. Okay, so that's going to put up this JSON file here on the screen, and it's going to show me a bunch of different things. I've got physical disk, logical disk, all these different things. So this is the stat file that we've created. It says, are you satisfied with this config? You may manually customize it afterwards. And if I say, yes, I'm satisfied, I hit enter. Do you want to monitor any customized log files? So you can set it up so that your application, as it drops log files, they can monitor those. I don't have any. We actually send them off to something like Splunk or something else. You might want to be pushing them off there. Do you want to monitor any Windows event logs? Again, I'm going to go no, because we're monitoring those ourselves in a different application. Okay, so now we have this log file, this JSON file that's showing all of the data that we're going to be collecting, like disk free space, memory used, physical disk, all these different things here. And it says, do you want to save this SSM to the parameter store? So there's documents that in the system manager that save these. I already have one here that's already set up. So in this case, I'm going to say, no, we're not going to save that. I've already got one. So, but this is the process that you have to go through in order to create that. If once it saves it to the parameter store, then it is there for you to call to then send to configure your instance. Okay, now that we've gotten that far, then we need to tell the instance. So we're going to send another SSM command here, and we're going to tell that we're going to take and send that action is, again, CloudWatch management. We're doing something, again, with CloudWatch. So send SSM command, and our document is the CloudWatch management agent. So our action now is configure. So we're going to configure this. So the first command is to install the CloudWatch agent. The second command is to configure the CloudWatch agent. And that takes the configuration from our system management store, and it moves our Amazon CloudWatch Windows configuration file to that host. And then optional restart, I just say yes, go ahead and restart it. That makes sure it goes and grabs the configuration and all that. So if I take this and I do a quick run of it, it's going to go out, install that document, and then reboot my host so that I can get that configuration in place. So after all of this, what does this actually get you? Okay, it's successful and it's rebooting. What is this getting me? So here we have free disk space. We're monitoring the disk space of a couple servers, so we know, okay, we're knowing what this space is free, and that's getting me that information. I also have some network and CPU that's actually live from inside the box. And from that you can build these dashboards. So now that you have the agent installed, then you can continue on and build these dashboards. I'll probably make another video on how to build a dashboard, but right now we're dealing with the agent. I don't want this to go too long. Okay, so now that you've done that one script, you've come here and run this setup command and gone through and created this script, you don't have to do that again. Now that you've done that, it's finished. Now you can use this one configuration and push that out to all of your instances, and then they will be able to be configured and scripted and build dashboards all at the same time without having to regenerate this JSON script again. Okay, well, this is another kind of AWS PowerShell episode here, and if this helps you out, then give me a thumbs up. If you like more of these kinds of videos, then subscribe to my channel. And I also do other videos on movies and TV shows that I like, and photography. I'm actually going out in a little while, going to be taking some sunset pictures. Time changed this last weekend, and so I'm going to go out and shoot some sunset stuff. Maybe do some, I've got some of my neutral density filters, so I'm going to put those on, take some long duration shots and stuff. So I'll make some videos about that. So if you like any of that kind of stuff, then subscribe to my channel, and then you'll be able to get those in your feed all the time. I make 3 to 4 videos a week. And thanks for watching this video, and take care.